Hey, how you doing? It's Queen Aset Haru, and I have another exciting episode of Ask An Aquarius. But before I get started in our question, I wanted to say that today is a day of a lot of pride for me. It's December 1st, 2017, and my little brother posted pictures today that he proposed to his girlfriend. And everybody who knows me knows that when I was little, my little brother was always with me. He was born when I was 9 or 10, and I always had him. My mom always sent him everywhere with me. Probably partially to keep me out of trouble, but also because that she was working. And I always had him. He was like my son, basically. Um, and for him to get engaged caused an emotional reaction in me. I cried so hard. I'm so proud. So I just wanted to give a shout out to my little brother and his fiance. I get to say fiance now. His fiance, Tasha. Thank you, Tasha, for taking care of my little brother and now becoming a part of our family in an even more legal way, because you've always been a part. Now it's almost it's almost official. Okay, so um, the question, the question for Ask an Aquarius is, the girl's name is Tina, and she said, which religion, which spiritual system is the real, true system that'll get you to heaven, basically, that'll get your soul out of damnation, is what she wanted to know. Because everybody who knows me knows I've studied spirituality, I've studied religions, I've studied spiritual systems since I was 13 years old. I've been fascinated with the way that they move and operate and things like that. So she wanted me to tell her, like, out of my observations, which one is the real and true one. Now, some of you might expect me to say Mayat, because it's the one that I practice, and it's the first one practiced by people of color that we have evidence of. Could have been many more before, we would never know. And it is my favorite, but I'm not going to say that. This is what I'm going to tell you, and this may be shocking to some of you. There is no one real, true religion or spiritual system. Now, people that are in them, a Baptist will probably say differently. A Jehovah's Witness might say differently. A priestess of Mayat might even say differently. But I'm going to tell you the real deal. There isn't one. Every spiritual system can take you to a space of nirvana, heaven, whatever you want to call it. Any positive spiritual system can take you there. If you stay away from the negative aspects of that particular system, and just take the good parts, the inspirational parts, the positive parts, the loving parts, almost any of them could probably get you to a place of salvation. I'll give you an example. Somebody who practices Christianity, for example. If you stay away from the negativity, the gossip, the hatred that sometimes comes out for different groups of people, gay people, other religions, if you stay away from that and instead you really follow the religion, because on some real stuff, I've read the Bible backwards and forwards, and it's not about do you go to church, do you read the Bible. It's about, are you like Christ? Christ was a very kind man, according to the scriptures. Christ was a kind man. Christ was compassionate. So the idea for Christians is to be like Christ, not to be the most well-read, not to be the snazziest dresser in the congregation. It's to be like Christ. So if you are like Christ, if you're kind, if you're considerate, if you're compassionate, if you're generous, if you're non-judgmental, you will reach heaven. You will reach nirvana. You'll reach it. You will. If you are Buddhist, and you follow Buddha, and you want to be like Buddha, and you follow behind the footsteps of Buddha, and you meditate every day, and you practice kindness, and you practice non-attachment, and you practice the noble truths, and you stay away from any negative aspects that have to do with war or politics or negativity, then you can reach nirvana. Any of these spiritual systems are taking you in the same direction. It's like a wheel. You ever look at a bicycle wheel and it has all these lines and they all go to the center? That's how religion and spirituality is. All of the good ones go to the same center. They take you to being a good person. They take you to treating people well. And if you can stay away from the corrupt aspects that come from human beings, then you can find salvation in almost any of these. I would say Islam, Christianity, Wicca. If you're a true Wiccan and you're being love and light to everybody that you see and really like embodying that, and I'm not saying anybody's perfect, but I mean, you really are trying to be like Christ, like Buddha. You really are trying to be love and light, not just say it, not just act it out, not just front, not just wear a pentacle and black clothes, but you really being it. You're treating people good. You're trying to give light. You're trying to be loving towards people. You're trying to not, or doing your best. I don't even want to say trying, because you should be actually doing it. Doing your best to be good to people. Doing your best to help the earth. Doing your best to honor Goddess and Mother Nature. If you're doing it for real, you'll get there. We'll all get there, but we'll get there on different roads. But all those roads lead to the center. So I'm not going to say any one is the real and true. An agnostic can reach it. Anybody can reach it. I don't know about atheists though. I don't really know much about them. I haven't studied them much, so I really don't know much about it, so I can't really speak on it. But as far as spirituality is concerned, the people that are involved in different religions, a person who is a priestess of Yoruba, a person who's a priestess of Santeria, we all can get to that middle if we follow the positive aspects of our spiritual system. If we stay away from the negatives, because they all have negatives, there's pros and cons to every system. And if you stay away from the negatives, you'll be fine. It doesn't matter. This is how you do it. You pick the one that really changes you, the one that speaks to you, the one that moves you. See, that's the question. Which one speaks to you? It's just like when you go to Burger King and they say you can have it your way. We all are supposed to, and we all should, pick our own spiritual systems. It's detrimental to just be in a system because your mom was in it, because your father was in it. You really technically, and this is my opinion, shouldn't initiate, get baptized, or become a member of any system until you're old enough, 13, 14, 15, 18, to make that decision for yourself. When my daughter was young, she was exposed to all different types of spiritual systems because I was always a priestess. I've been a priestess since 1999. Been working on it and leveling up since 1999. My mother is a Catholic. Her grandmother is some type of Christian. I don't know if it's Baptist or not. And there are just different people in our family that are different things. So she was exposed to Islam and Christianity and paganism, and she was exposed to all these things. And now, at 23 years old, she's deciding which one speaks to her. And that's what you do. You decide which one speaks to you. Not what spoke to your grandmother, not what spoke to your mother, what speaks to you. So the easiest way to do that is to just study them. Everybody knows I took African spirituality classes. You don't even have to do all of that though. You can just go online and Google each one, learn about them, and decide if you're feeling it. And if you're feeling it, go to a service. You know, there's always somebody that's in that spiritual system that's willing to show you the way if you want to see. And then after you've seen a few of them, decide which one is for you. It took me a long time to find my yacht. I started looking at 13. I didn't find my yacht until I was like 21 or 22 years old. And I had been looking for a long time. I had tried different systems, but none of them really spoke to me. None of them really embodied me. None of them affirmed me. Everyone had a problem with some aspect of me. Oh, you're a lesbian. You can't be this. You can't be Islam. Can't be Christian. Everybody was like, no, 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 no. Like, I mean, it was like every religion. Then Buddhist was like, okay, you can be a lesbian, but you can't practice. You know, like I do tarot cards and talk to spirits and things like that. No, you can't do that. Can't do that. Certain aspects of that you can't do. Some of it you can, some of it you can't. So it was like nobody really affirmed me. And when I found my yacht, it was like I looked at the 42 laws of my yacht, and it was like, okay, this is what you have to do. And I looked at them translated, not translated by a racist, not translated by a sexist, not translated by somebody who's homophobic, translated as they actually were when the Egyptians spoke them. And I looked at the 42 and I was like, wow, I respect this. It's called the 42 Laws of Ma'at. Some people call them the 42 Negative Confessions or the 42 Declarations. And when I looked at the rules, I was like, I believe this. I can do this. And I found out that Bast, one of the Egyptian goddesses, was the patron of bisexual and lesbian women and weed smokers. I found out different things about the gods and the goddesses, and they all kind of affirmed who I was. Like, it's okay to be all the things you are, Erica. It's okay. You know, it's okay, queen. It's okay, you know. And when I saw that, I was like, this is my spiritual system. So for all of us, that could be a different one. It could, for each one of us, that could be a different one. But it should do two things for you. This is how you know it's for you. Number one, if you're encouraged to hate any group of people, I don't care who they are, that's not the one for you. Because God is not hate. Goddess is not hateful. Goddess does not hate anything or anyone. Goddess doesn't even hate evil. Goddess just wants evil to come into the light. Goddess doesn't hate anything. So any group of people that's encouraging you to hate gay people, hate men, hate this, hate that, hate white people, hate this, that's not God. That's ego. That's man. Stay away from that. Number one. Number two, it should make you feel good. It should make you better. It should help you. If your spiritual system is not helping you, if it's not making you a better person, that's not the system for you. It doesn't work for you. Try something else. So, Tina, thank you for your question. And that's the answer. Any one of them probably can. Any one of them that is focused on positivity can work. Guaranteed. Even the ones that have a little, you know, like I said with some Christian groups, hate gays, for example. If you stay away from the hateful aspect of Christianity and just do what I said, which was follow Christ, you'll be fine. Christ didn't hate anybody. Christ was good to everybody. And if you do that, if you live and let live and follow behind Christ and being compassionate, even to people who weren't, Christ was compassionate to people who were not Christians, or he was Jewish, so he was compassionate to people who were not Jewish. He was compassionate to people who were what they called Gentiles back then. He was compassionate to everyone. He didn't care if you were a sinner. He didn't care about any of that. He was compassionate to you anyway. And if you follow Christ and you're like that, if you're that kind of person, then that's a good system for you and it will take you to heaven. I never denounce another system because it's not my own. Only thing I denounce is the hatred in any system. So Tina, if you're interested in knowing how to get to salvation, happiness, peace, nirvana, heaven, whatever you want to call it, all you have to do is look at the different systems that are there. And then some of you will look at the systems and say, I don't like none of this. That's cool too. You know, some people are what we call eclectic. and they take different pieces of a spiritual system. They might take something from here and something from there and make their own thing. That's fine too. That's fine. Spirituality is a very personal journey. And that's why I always tell people against trying to recruit people or speaking against somebody's spiritual system, because it's personal. It's a personal inner journey. And the external stuff is cool. The external stuff does help you. For instance, sermons help, going to church helps, going to mosque helps, going to the temple helps. Yeah, all that helps you when it's a positive energy, when it's positive interactions. But that's not really what religion is about. Religion means to tie back. So it means to tie you back to your creator. So anything that takes you back to Goddess, anything that takes you back to God, anything that takes you back to goodness, love, kindness, peace, anything that takes you back to being a good person, anything that takes you back to compassion, is a good thing. It's a good thing. And that's where all these spiritual systems go. When you die, if you're a priestess of Mayat, they say that Mayat weighs your heart to see if your heart is light as a feather. I asked Goddess one day, how can I make my heart as light as a feather? And she said, love them all. Every last one of them, no matter what they are, love them. And that's a struggle. But I try every day. So I ask you, do the same thing. No matter what your spiritual system is, no matter what your religion is, no matter who your pastor is, just love. Show love and compassion to everyone you come by, and that is the way. No matter what your spiritual system is, that's the way. Thank you for listening. Until next time.